We have another question. Um, Many people seem to be sycophantic towards the teachers, and especially Rinpoches and Lamas. In the comments, for example, people often say stuff like, "It's great that I'm near you. Thanks for being alive. Your farts smell of chocolate." I love this. So if your farts smell of chocolate, it means you can do no wrong. Stuff like that. Um, this is something that bothers me. So very good question. This is about the teacher-student relationship. And in my experience, many people I know um, meet a teacher and it opens the heart. There's a heart response. It's a real kind of love. And that's a really valuable thing. It's not something to be scared of, actually. It's something quite important. Many reasons for that. Um, if it bothers you, I would suggest you look at it like a kind of love relationship with your partner, your wife, your husband. Uh, you want to you want to kind of examine them before you make a commitment. Before you get married, you want to ask the question, is this person good for me? And think about it very seriously. Um, because there is something that happens between a teacher and a student or a guru disciple, is there's a bond that's created. In Sanskrit, it's called samaya. And this bond or connection, they say, is the strongest connection you can have in this life with anyone, stronger than your family, even. So um, it's very, very powerful and takes a lot of discernment. You have to listen to your intuition. You have to think about it for a long time. Kandra Rinpoche said, find a guru as soon as possible, but don't rush. So traditionally it takes like 3 years and then 3 more years and then 3 more years. So 9 years. Um, before before the real kind of samaya should happen. It's not always like that, but the point is treat it as if you're examining this person and don't just rely on what other people think. Don't just rely on things you've read. Don't just rely on virtual connection like videos and things like that. Actually meet this person face to face, have them look at you and you look at them and make that kind of human connection. Human connection in this tradition is a speciality. It's really important. So in my experience, that has been the most important aspect of my spiritual path is meeting teachers that have opened my heart. And I've met many teachers that didn't have any effect, but the ones that do have the real benefit, the real positive impact, are the ones that I have met and I have felt something. It's not so much on the cognitive level, although that is important. It's a feeling level. It's opening the heart. And then that opens a door to trust and faith, which is so important. Because if you're taking somebody's instructions meaningfully, that means you're taking them to heart and you're practicing them wholeheartedly. And if you're practicing something wholeheartedly, you can't do that unless you have trust, unless you have faith, unless you have devotion to their example. If you see them as an example that I want to be like them, I want to have what they have, I want to see the results that they've discovered. These kind of feelings are really important to inspire, to encourage, to motivate, to actually bring you along the path. Practicing kind of half-heartedly doesn't work. You need to do it with your whole heart, and that's really asking a lot. Actually, it's asking everything. It's asking to contact the deepest part of you, and that means you need to have trust. So this kind of trust should not be given casually, but we're using thorough discernment, examination, and intuition. And Buddha said, don't just believe my teachings because I said it. You should examine it thoroughly. You should test it, try it, weigh it like gold. You know, if you're a gold merchant, you don't just buy gold that somebody tells you is gold. You examine it first, make sure that it's real. And so the same with these teachings, you have to make sure that they make sense to you, and that they work. And you need to test for yourself before that kind of trust and that kind of devotion can arise. And it arises by itself. You don't need to create it. And when it does, then you start to really see the point of these teachings, which is the truth is within you. It's not something that anybody can give you, actually. It's like they can point the finger. You just have to walk yourself. Yeah, we can't be expected to be carried. We have to make the journey. I think Buddha said, I cannot liberate you. You have to liberate yourself. You are your own master. You are your own guru. You are the one who puts you in samsara, in prison, and you are the one who will free yourself. So the point of these teachings, it comes back to you, but we need the other to show us the example. We need the other. And that relationship is a heart relationship. It's a love relationship. It's a very pure love. It's a very sacred holy and precious thing, and it's very real, very serious, and not to be taken lightly at all. There are many unfortunate cases of abuse and misconduct, and teachers who have gone the wrong way with their students and hurt them. And that's a really terrible shame. So it's good to be careful who you listen to. You can't just have blind faith. You can't just accept everybody without discernment. But there are some good teachers. Luckily, my teachers were all good. And I never had to go through that kind of pain. There are certain teachers that I am disappointed in, but the disappointment actually came at a time when I was, in a way, prepared for it, and it had the effect of not being negative, actually. It had a positive effect of more like bringing the focus back to myself, which is the whole point of all these teachings in the first place. And bringing the focus back to myself is empowering, self-empowering, rather than leaving the point as being dualistic. It becomes more self-empowering. I think Maitreya said, do not rely on the teacher, but rely on his teachings. So the 4 reliances. The first one is rely on the teachings, not on the teacher. I might not be able to remember all of them. The second one, I think, is rely on the meaning, not on the words. The third one is rely on the experiential meaning, not intellectual meaning. And I think the fourth one could be the hardest one of all, which is rely on the definitive meaning, not the conventional. That's a big topic. But basically, it's these 4 reliances are about distilling the essence of the teachings down to the main point, which is yourself. All the answers are within you. And so we need a guru, we need a teacher to show us who we are. That's the point. It's not about surrendering your sovereignty to anybody. It's about discovering your sovereignty and claiming it and embodying it and realizing it. So in the end, the benefit of self and other is when you can be free, not indebted at all. So that's why we have guru, is to become free, and that's why we become Buddha, is to help all beings to be free. So that's the way it works, and I think that answered that question. Please feel free to, if you have any more questions, write them in the comments. and I'll see you on the next video. Thank you.